I see this all the time. Parents do not even realize that they're doing it. I didn't even realize that I was doing this. And even present day, I have to put myself in check and make sure I'm following these 3 rules. These are the things that are going to actually shift. And they're what your child really wants and needs, but they're never going to tell you. I'm going to teach you 3 things today, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Melissa. I'm a board certified behavior analyst, and I teach motivated parents how to go from survival mode to actual stress relief. They have broken through barriers they literally thought that they could never cross. I am trained in crisis management. I teach future professionals at the collegiate level, and I serve as a voluntary subject matter expert for the Behavior Analyst Certification Board. You are in good hands. Today, we're going to learn 3 things about what your child actually needs. Number 1, structure and guidance. I'm telling you, they want it, even if they resist. 2, they want choices. That means you tell them a couple, not open-ended. What do you want to do today? No, you give them choices. We're going to dive in just a moment. And then 3, they're never going to tell you this, but emotional regulation. Us adults have to be regulated. We've got to model it. We've got to act it. We've got to feel it. And then picture perfect. You're going to see results you're looking for in your child. All right? So here's the thing. Everyone has a story, myself included, and we are human. It is a struggle sometimes to get past the things in our mind, the things in our hearts, the things that make us feel upset, angry, triggered. They are going to happen. There are so many different things, right? But it's up to us to make a choice as to whether we allow something to bother us. And I know you've heard this before. I have heard this before so many times, and it literally took recently for the light bulb to go off and for me to apply this in all areas of life. But here I am today talking to you about something I know I'm really fluent in, and that is how to get your child to do the things that you want them to do to actually grow and learn. And a big part of that is us changing how we are responding. All right? So, first thing, structure and guidance. We have to have plans. We have to think ahead, 2 or 3 steps ahead. This is not from an anxious perspective. This is from a preventative strategy, but as far as also planning and anticipating how your child might respond or act related to something, all right? Even if it's something that they enjoy, that they like, right? We are still planning. We're still thinking of the time component. We're still thinking of them being hungry, having to go to the bathroom. We're thinking of their transitions. We're thinking of wait times, okay? And if we can provide structure, meaning we can guide them as to the who, what, where, whens, and whys, and hows of almost everything they do, then we're going to see a lot less problem behavior because they are going to be guided and steered as to how they should be, how they should act, where they should go, where they should be. Does this mean that we're controlling them? No. Does this mean that we're not giving them choices? No. This simply means that we as adults are taking responsibility and we are thinking about the day and about how our children are going to succeed. And therefore, we are going to be stress-free or stress reduced, right? We are going to already be thinking ahead about what's possibly going to happen. Now, that doesn't mean that we have a plan for everything. That doesn't mean that we're not flexible. That doesn't mean that if our plans or our structure doesn't happen, that we then are going to be awry, right? That we're going to be upset. No. This is simply thinking about how we can plan the day or a certain activity or situation, and we can therefore guide our children and also provide them any supports that they need, whether that be visual supports like pictures or reinforcements, right? Things that are challenging for them. Also like things that they struggle with, that we need to embed more time into, so we're not rushing and having these expectations of them that they need to get this done stat because I got to get out the door because I got an appointment. That's what I'm saying. They're not stressed. Trust me. They are kids. They're living in their own world. They're thinking about toys and games. You know what's stressing them out is us. But if we can provide structure and guidance, then we will be less stressed and we'll have already planned for all this stuff. They go hand in hand, okay? Structure and guidance was number 1. Number 2, choices. I love choices for a lot of reasons. People, first of all, feel in control. They feel empowered. They feel like valued when they're able to make decisions and choices, especially ones that benefit themselves and benefit others. It's a good thing, right? So there are so many choices in life. If you really sit back and just watch, there are so many choices in this world that we can make. Am I going to sit in this chair or this chair? Am I going to wear this or that? Am I going to use a fork or a spoon? I mean, there are so many choices. It's so small, but it's there. We can throw choices at our kids all day long. They're gonna love it. They're gonna respond positively. The more that you can give them choices, the more that they will comply. I recommend giving 2 to 3 choices per activity. Depending on your child, you can give an open-ended type of choice. For example, what do you want to wear today? But that requires them to have the skills to be able to scan all of their clothing, think about the weather, know where to find everything, right? So you've got to think about where your child is at, what their skills are, what they can do. And then when you give them these choices, set them up for success. If you're going to give them an open-ended choice and they just simply can't make the choice, or you think they can't make the choice because they're engaging in problem behavior, dumb it down, go back down to 2 or 3 choices, okay? That's going to be super helpful. That was step 2. Number 3, super important, everybody, emotional regulation. This is in ourselves. Gosh, I think literally every single person in this whole world, I don't care what your age is, your gender, who you're from, where you are from, blah, blah, blah. Everyone is always working on this. So keep working on it. There's never going to be a perfect, but you know what? You can try your best. You can do your best. You can keep trying, and your child's going to see it. You yourself practice your deep breathing, your grounding techniques, you're asking for breaks, right? You're pausing before responding, right? Emotional regulation is about how we take in something that most likely has upset us, made us feel triggered, made us feel a certain type of way that we don't want to feel, displeasure, and then how are we responding? And for most of us, we're expressing our emotions. We're expressing it in our body language, in our tone of voice, in the things that we say. And you know what? A lot of the times we want people to hear what we're thinking and feeling because we feel like personally victimized by them. Yeah, we feel that way sometimes by our children, right? We're like, how dare you throw your food on the floor when I made that for you? I worked hard for my money. I slaved over the stove. I just cleaned the floors, all these things, right? But if we are emotionally regulated in the moment, in order to get what we want and need, which is not what our child is doing at the current moment, it's not going to help by just telling them how we feel. It's not going to help by yelling at them and by screaming and showing our emotion. There might be a shock factor, but it's really not going to change much. So what do we need to do? We need to stay calm, we need to stay present, and we need to give them choices and or guide them for how they can fix what they are doing. All right? That means putting words into their mouth and telling them, I think you need a break. Say, Mom, I'm going to go take a break now, and guide them to their room. Or you're going to say, well, I know you didn't want that to eat, but it's dinner time. So you can sit here to eat, or you could sit there to eat, right? Or I know you don't want to brush your teeth, but we've got to brush them. So I can either put on a music song for you and we can make this fun, or here's your toothbrush and I'll do it for you, right? So you're giving choices, and you can say it. You can express. You're human. You can express how you're feeling. But the point I'm making is the more that you are regulated and are able to stay present and guide your child to what you want them to do, what they need to do, how to communicate as well, then you will get the results you are looking for. All right? Your children are never going to tell you they want structure. They're never going to tell you, Mom, Dad, be emotionally regulated. We're adults here. We've got to figure this out. This is a really big turning point for if you are actually going to see change in your children. Okay? So remember the 3 things: structure and guidance, give choices, be emotionally regulated ourselves. If you feel this and this makes sense to you, please comment and let me know. If you haven't subscribed already, I'd really appreciate doing that. If you want to work with me, send me a private message. My team and I are ready to go.